Hello and welcome to Mates Rate, the new podcast that's an enthralling trip down the metaphorical memory lane of movies. My name is Carr, and alongside my friend, colleague and bearded confidant Dan Cayzer.
Hello.
Each week we will pick a theme and pull on the threads of the tapestry that makes up each of our top 5 movie examples, in our very humble opinions, of the week's selected topic. That's as far as I got.
Did you write that?
I wrote that.
It's nice.
Is it right?
Yeah.
Good.
We'll keep it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. This week we're going to be talking about car stunts.
Oh, yes, please. Can we?
Yeah, we can. We definitely can.
I think we should.
We
Now?
definitely will.
Do it now?
I've got nothing going on.
Okay.
This week we're going to be talking about car stunts. So those exciting moments in the films where they throw cars, I don't know, off of buildings, off of gorges, into other cars, upside down, general car stunts.
Yeah, car smashy.
Smashy. Oh, I mean,
Go boom boom.
to be fair, I'm not limited it just to car stunts. Let's go with vehicle stunts.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so we're not going to be talking too much about car chases. We're just going to be talking about the very specific stunty work.
Yes, by those brave men and women of the movie industry.
Oh, and something we should mention is that we are going to be spoiling the absolute crap out of all of these films that we're going to be discussing. There's going to be plot spoilers, deaths, endings, just whatever you think of, we're going to spoil them. But some of the films are over 50 years old, so that's really on you. But to help you out, we're going to put a list in the description of all the films that we're going to talk about without actually spoiling anything in the description.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen these films, go through the list, treat yourself, do your homework, come back, and get ready to listen to what we have to say. It was quite authoritative, wasn't it?
So you've already had your spoiler alert, but just to remind you that if you don't want any of these films that we're about to talk about ruined to the hell of ruin... No, that's not a sentence.
If you don't want them ruined like the memory of Rolf Harris.
Oh, too soon.
You shouldn't have done it.
You shouldn't have done it.
Shouldn't have done it.
You really shouldn't
for all
have done
those years.
I mean, you shouldn't have done it at all, Dan. Never mind for all those years.
He's the Cosby of paedophiles.
No, that was Cosby.
Oh yeah.
So Dan, what kind of makes a good car stunt in your opinion?
I think it has to be practical.
Well, this is precisely what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think it has to be real.
I don't think that. I can't say for certain that none of mine have got CG in them. In fact, one of them definitely has some CG in it, but it's not to do with the car stunt.
I'm in a similar position.
So there are some examples in the films which I think just stand out as being spectacular car stunts. Either they've taken car stuntage to a new level, or they've been innovative. They've just done something that's never been seen before, or in one case, in mine, they've broken a record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think I know which one that is.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
No.
So Dan, do you want to go first?
Oh yes, please.
Well, I think that you should then.
Well, thank you very much.
You're
I
welcome.
feel welcome.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you feel like welcome in my home?
And loved.
Yeah, you will. You will be loved later.
God.
Yeah.
Depends how I do on this.
It really does.
Okay, so my first one would be Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
The
Fantastic.
original Blues Brothers from 1980. And
yeah. I've never seen the sequel. Have you?
I'm afraid I have. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll get to that actually. I'll get to that. There's nothing wrong with the sequel other than it's not very good. It's nowhere near as good as the original.
No.
So, yes, the original film, the Blues Brothers, they're on a mission from God, and they are trying to save their orphanage home from going into liquidation and being sold off by the church. And they do this by driving across America, playing music, and generally being cool guys that are kind of on the wrong side of the law most of the time, because they just don't care about the law. And it culminates in a huge car chase, and we've got the Bluesmobile, which is this Dodge police car, being chased through the streets by police cars from every state in America as they cross the country. And the reason for bringing it up is that at a time it set the record, this is 1980, and it set the record for the most cars destroyed in a film.
You've got a record breaker too.
I've got a record breaker,
Cheryl Baker. The record breaker, Cheryl Baker.
Oh man, it rhymes and I forgot.
It does, yeah.
Damn.
I mean, Roy Castle was, or as you would say.
Castle.
Oh, I was thinking you pronounced Roy a bit differently, but okay. But it did. It broke the record. Was it the number of cars or involved?
It was the number of cars destroyed.
Cars destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe there was more involved in the chase, but it was the number of cars destroyed in the chase. Because what you've got is you've got the Bluesmobile kind of coming off of different roads, and they'll go down verges, and as the Bluesmobile takes the verge perfectly, all the police cars, all the troopers that are chasing them will crash into each other, roll their vehicles, and they just absolutely destroy and cane all of these vehicles. And 103 cars were destroyed in the making of Blues Brothers, deliberately, for the purposes of entertainment.
103?
103.
Wow.
That was a record in 1980.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Blues Brothers 2000, the sequel, did beat it.
Yeah, of course they did.
By one car, which I think was quite on purpose. So 104 cars. But that record had already been broken by a film called The Junk Man in 1982, which had 150 cars destroyed in it. And then big old Michael Bay, in the one of his seminal Transformers movies, Dark of the Moon, which is a film that came out.
Are you sure?
Yeah. 532 cars were destroyed.
Holy suggernuts.
In that one.
Wow.
So, yeah, that fantastic record by... one of my favourite films, Blues Brothers, was destroyed by Michael Bay, much like most of our childhood franchises.
Absolutely. Michael Bay's done... I'm not going to even finish that sentence. I was going to say he's done some good work, and he has.
There's nothing wrong with Bay. Everything's bombastic and
Michael Bay's good work
enjoyable.
To me is...
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys and The Rock.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's it.
The Rock's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I know that you're also a fan of Con Air.
Yeah.
But I'm going to quote Chris Rock in Kevin Smith's Dogma. Con Air, con shit.
Ooh.
I'm not going to do the accent.
No,
I mean, it's all right. I found it a little bit sort of predictable, prosaic, if you will.
Oh, my.
Yeah, no.
Con Air's fantastic, but there are moments of almost... cartoonish acting and behaviour. Nicolas Cage's
put the bunny
accent.
back in the box.
I'm your dad. That was awful.
What was mine or yours?
Mine. You were fine.
It's got to stay in though.
You were on the money.
Put the bunny back in the box. Go away, Nicolas Cage. I mean, never go away, Nicolas Cage.
I love the Cage.
Cage is
but,
I really need to see
it's
the extraordinary thingy of massive talent.
The unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah, I need to see that. Really
you do. It's fantastic. Both he and Pedro Pascal are fantastic.
I had a look at the Blues Brothers scene in preparation for this. I've been researching quite a few.
My God, we're prepared.
We are prepared
to the nines.
And I had a look at that, and I found it really interesting that in that scene where they are being chased by all the cops, and there's one bit of it where they just. All the police just seem to be just driving off the highway into a grass ditch for no apparent reason, driving over each other.
Yeah.
And they're fantastic.
Not one of them learning from the mistake of the 10 cars below them.
Yeah. And I found it interesting that the Blues Brothers quite clearly have a police black and white, and all these other cars are white with like yellow trim. It's
because they're from different states.
Counties,
like different states and counties.
Troopers or something like that, state troopers or it was just I was expecting them all to be black and whites, and then oh no, they're not. Anyway,
there's stunts throughout that whole scene. So John Candy's character is in a back of a police car chasing them, and they send that car flying through the air and they smash it into the back of a semi-truck. And John Candy's arm just kind of like comes out and grabs the police radio as they're now crashed into the vehicle. That's what car is this? 55. So this car 55. We're in a truck. It's I can't stop watching Blues Brothers. It's
I don't think
possibly one of my favourite films of all time.
I mean, it is a legend. It is a classic for a reason. It's got amazing music in it. It's got amazing humour in it. How much for your wife? How much for the girl?
Sell me a women.
It's a great film. Fantastic film.
Yeah. There's also there's two ridiculous car stunts in it that defy physics in such a way that they can almost be dismissed as just as stupid. But because that film is not taking itself seriously at all, I think they get away with it. One, you've got the Bluesmobile comes to the end of an unfinished bit of motorway, and they drop their front tyres off the edge of it and then throw the car in reverse. They're being chased by the neo-Nazis of Illinois.
Of course.
And we all hate Illinois Nazis. And they...
Yeah. Illinois Nazis specifically.
Yeah.
The rest of them, take or leave them.
And so, with those front wheels hanging off the edge, the Bluesmobile, the Dodge, piece of crap Dodge, flung into reverse, and when that happens, the car does a backflip, impossibly, and during that rotation of it flipping upside down and over the top of the Nazi vehicle, it changes direction as well in the cut, and it makes no sense. But
look,
it's
you
great.
do not need to follow the laws of physics when you're on a mission from God.
Exactly.
That's it.
The Nazis then go off the edge of the unfinished highway, however high that would be. Let's say it's 10 stories in the air.
It's going to be good 50 to 100 feet, isn't
The
it?
car is now 100 stories in the air, dropping down,
I remember.
and it's dropping down onto an empty area as we're looking from a bird's eye view down on top of the car, and it's going to land in an area that was probably safe to actually drop a real vehicle from. And then that area changes as they crash through the road, and the Bluesmobile jumps over the top of the hole that the Nazi cars made. But who cares? It was fantastic, and I love it. I don't want to hear a bad word about it, Gareth. Just stop. Stop. Calm down.
I was literally.
Stop shouting.
I was just.
Stop shouting.
I was just. Oh, I thought you were gonna.
No, I'm done.
I'm
done now.
Listen.
Can you do yours, please?
All I was going to say, I was just going to say, Blues Brothers, fantastic first pick. Really good.
Thank you so much.
Can't argue with that in the slightest. And now,
what have you got in the bag?
Well, now I'm going to rearrange my chair, which is going to squeak, so I'm going to pause. Well, now, I suppose I've got to follow that, haven't I? Oh, never mind. So I'm going to pick. I mean, you can't really talk car stunts without talking James Bond. 007. Yes, well. Yes. There can be only one McLeod. Oh, that's not James Bond, but never mind. Yes, so, this is Daniel Craig's first film, Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
Casino Royale. This is the record breaker for me as well. So he's just won, James Bond has just won the poker match, and Vesper Lind has been taken by the bad guys. So Bond runs from the gambling establishment that gives the movie and the book its name, straight into his company car, which is a bit better than a Fiat Punto. He's got an Aston Martin DBS V12.
Good Lord.
I know, it's all right, isn't it? And what follows has to be the shortest car chase in movie history. So going from your one of the longest, to one of the shortest. I timed it. From the second that the wheels start to turn in the car to when the car is at rest after the stunt, 37 seconds about.
Wow.
I know, it's not long. So Bond tears out the car park, full pelt down the country lane, down a dimly lit country road, and his headlights then illuminate Vesper, his love, Vesper Lind. I think it is Vesper Lind.
So we're talking about vehicles, and her name is Vesper.
I know, but it's not about that.
Oh.
And she's gagged and bound in the middle of the road. So in order to not run her over and turn her into like a permanent speed bump feature, he whips the steering wheel to the left or the right, and the car starts to flip and roll. And it rolls. Flip and roll. And it rolls like, I don't know, I can't remember how many times it rolls. I think
7.
I think it was 7. I was going to say 7. Can I do that? It's my bit. I'm not sure how many times it rolls. I think it was 7. Dan, do you agree?
I do.
Yeah, good. But yeah, so it flips 7 times and breaks the record for the number of flips a car has done, a number of rolls that a car's done.
Yeah.
Which I think was later broken somewhere else.
Do you know who held it before?
No, do you?
Top Gear.
I thought Top Gear broke it.
I imagine they went back and did it again after.
But I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. I might have got that the wrong way round.
Listener, you decide.
Yeah, you decide. Or you Google it and then tell us.
Yeah, we're not doing it.
No, just work. But yeah, so I mean, the way that they do this in the movie is because it's quite difficult to get a car to flip. I think they did try it with there was some sort of BMW that they were practicing it with, but they did try it without any extra gubbins, and they couldn't get the effect they wanted. So what they did was they created this system where they put a piston inside one side of the car, and then a pneumatic piston, and then fired it out. So you get the car into a slide, turn it to the right, get it into a slide, fire out this piston, and then it just starts flipping rolling.
Yeah,
Absolutely flipping.
When you watch that film, can you see that mechanism?
I suspect it may have been digitally removed, but you do see like a plume of gas coming from underneath the car.
Yeah, kind of like compressed gas.
So if you want to nitpick about it, you can.
I only ask because go back and watch Gladiator. And there's a chariot being pulled around that flips over, and you see a massive compressed gas canister underneath.
Do you know I was
didn't pick that one out.
in the
Ridley.
In the research for this, I also found out that apparently, I don't know how true this is because I just saw a still, and it could be one of those that someone's made up just as clickbait. But apparently, in the background, when Maximus Decimus Meridius is giving one of his, I don't know, is that his name? Something like that. Maximus.
It's got a lot of.
He's got a lot of us's in there. Yeah.
Us's.
Commander to the North, General of the blah blah. Yeah. It's a fantastic role from Russell Crowe. When he's giving one of his speeches, apparently it's a low camera angle, and up behind him there's a plane in the background.
Really?
Apparently, don't know how true it is. Might want to Google that before we.
What I've got for you.
Put that to tape.
What I've got for you.
What have you got for me?
In terms of Gladiator, we've diverted.
You've not got
massively.
your Gladiator outfit, have you?
No, but it is about a Gladiator outfit. I am good friends with someone who made a lot of that costuming.
Ooh.
Yes. A good friend of mine made a lot of the costuming for Gladiator, including Russell Crowe's main outfit. And I can tell you that it was all made out of like kind of like plate armor. It was metal, and Crowe found it too heavy, and he didn't like wearing it.
Oh wow! Well, he is a bit of anyway.
So he demanded that a more lightweight version be made for wide shots, and that he would only wear the metal in the close-up. And so they made a lightweight version of it out of balsa wood, and apparently that's what he wore and posed for the cover of a magazine.
Oh.
Not the highly expensive, highly intricate metal armor.
I mean,
he wore the cheaper, lighter one for this photo shoot and got in a lot of trouble, apparently.
He was a gentleman of quite muscular stature for that film. You'd have thought he could take the heavy one. But anyway, so I've just Googled it, and that plane in the background's bollocks. It's not real.
Oh.
Somebody has decided to
Somebody made you lie on the podcast.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna quote Donald Trump. As you know, I quite enjoy quoting Donald Trump all the time. No, that's not true. Please cut that. Fake news. Dan, you've gone quiet. Are you Googling?
No, I've gone quiet because you've shown too much admiration for Trump.
Oh, but he's such I would just want his hair.
It's so quotable, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it's a fantastic car stunt, and I can only pity the poor stunt car driver who flips over and over and over again. I do believe that one of the cameras was completely wiped out during that stunt. Really?
I'm not sure how it cuts in the film, but I'm pretty sure as it comes to rest, that vehicle kind of flies towards camera. And they knew pretty much that it was going to be potentially in the path of destruction. So there's no operator, but I think they lost one of their cameras. Well, that would have been a very, very expensive piece of kit.
We'll talk more about that on another one of mine.
Oh, good
anyway,
Lord.
Shall we move on to your number 2?
Let's.
Number 2. Hey, number 2. Name that TV show.
Oh God, I thought it was an Austin Powers joke.
No, that would be number 1, number 2. don't know.
You've gone Trump.
I've gone Trump. Trump, hold on. How's Trump? Okay, we're going to build a wall. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. China.
It's pronounced China.
China.
So my number 2, if you will.
Can I handle your number 2? Is that what you said?
Get ready to take my number 2.
Okay. I can handle your number 2.
It's Jackie Chan's Police Story.
Jackie Chan. The legend.
Which has got stunts galore in it. But if we're talking about car stunts, the one that stands out the most is during a car chase. Chan's police officer is trying to hunt down these the bad guys, and the bad guys take a shortcut down a hill in their cars. That hill is populated with a favela, a shanty town, and they just drive straight through it. And that scene, I think it lasts about just over a minute, and the cars that they're driving are destroyed. The houses that are made of corrugated iron and glass and corrugated coronation chicken, they are absolutely wiped out. Now they would have built these homes for the purpose of wrecking. I
don't think they probably drove through an actual town.
No,
I mean people in shanty towns are poor generally.
Yes,
and that
they
means
love the movies.
Yeah, and you can generally do what you want to them. I believe that with impunity you can just wipe out their houses, their homes, their livelihoods. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully many generations of the same family are living in there, and you take them all out in one swift move.
Oh, you've gone too far there, Dan.
Do you think so?
I think a little.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, too much.
Kill them all. So, yeah, they just absolutely destroy it. You've got POV shots inside of one of the vehicles, and you'll see its windscreen just explode as debris smacks into it. It's just fantastic. There's a moment where one of the cars kind of does it's what they call an endo.
What's an endo?
So it just lands on its
one
of its endos.
Again, so we used this in the last podcast. It's a run seal. Does what it says on the tin.
And I believe that's either adopted into skateboard culture or it's taken from it.
What? So Police Story has
influenced Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk, wow. The comedian?
No. I don't know what he did after his skateboard career.
I'm pretty sure there's a British comedian named Tony Hawk who was in Red Dwarf a few episodes. Yeah.
I've dropped my pencil in astonishment.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've not actually seen Police Story, which is a crime. So there we go. But I will endeavour to watch it because I do love a bit of Jackie Chan. Although I'm one of those people that never sought out his stuff from before he came to Hollywood. But I always loved him in Hollywood, so I should go back and rewatch this. One of my oldest,
an absolute wealth of crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen clips and stuff, and I have seen
very precise filmmaking.
I have seen the clip of the driving through the shantytown, and it's fantastic and crazy.
Let me ask you this. Have you seen Bad Boys 2?
I was just going to say that. I was going to try and contribute something to the discussion because I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
You
Contribute now.
So have you seen Bad Boys 2?
Yeah.
Did you know that they copied that scene?
They did.
Oh, you knew.
And I did know.
Oh.
But
you gave me no indication that you knew.
Say that again.
Have you seen Bad Boys 2?
No.
Oh. Do you know, a fun fact about Bad Boys 2 is the only... I went to the premiere. It's the only premiere I've ever been to.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Who let you in there?
Well, Will Smith, personally.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He held the door.
Yeah, and then he slapped me in the face. No, he didn't. No,
he will do that.
No. Have you seen the Chris Rock Netflix special?
Yeah.
Can't afford to have any more rappers angry at me. That's very funny. Anyway, fun fact. It's the only premiere I've ever been to. I was working at a company in London and we had tickets to this premiere. It was fantastic. Less fun fact, I was a massive fan of Bad Boys 1. I didn't really enjoy Bad Boys 2 that much, and I actually fell asleep a bit at the premiere.
Oh.
I know.
I really like the first film. I don't remember too much of the second film.
No, I can't remember anything about the second film.
I couldn't be bothered to watch Bad Boys for Life.
Oh, Bad Boys for Life's actually pretty good. It really is. There's one dodgy car chase scene where it's clearly they're on a motorbike and it's clearly green screened, and that's a bit annoying. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's far superior to Bad Boys 2.
So I got to go to a premiere once.
Oh, did you?
Yes, it was.
I went to a premiere in.
Oh, it was for the Expendables. And I got to see Sylvester Stallone in the flesh.
Oh, wow.
That was not a Stallone impression. And Dolph Lundgren as well. And I really wanted Arnie to be there, but he wasn't there. Right, I'm gonna drag us all the way back from premieres back to the confines of Police Story, because I just want to mention.
Are we talking about Police Story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a fantastic stunt in that where Jackie Chan's cop.
Is it a cunning stunt?
Jackie Chan's cop is standing in the road and he wants this double-decker bus that's coming towards him to stop. So he's parked his car across the road. This double-decker bus is charging at him, and he gets out his service revolver and he points it at the driver, and the driver keeps going, and the other people on the bus are telling the driver to keep going, and Chan's pointing the gun, and he fires the gun into the air, and the bus comes to a screeching halt, and the driver and all the passengers at the front of this bus all smash through the windows.
Really?
And you, talking about stunts, the two guys that come from the top of the double-decker bus through the plate glass, seemingly plate glass, sugar glass maybe, but then they land on their necks.
Oh.
And this is all in a wide shot. You just see all of it. And it was probably very well choreographed, and they probably did it very, very safely. But good God, I mean, they fall from a story up. And it looks like
police story.
And it looks like they break their necks. It's horrible. They're not meant to break their necks in the story.
Yeah.
But bloody hell. And do you know? So we talked about Bad Boys 2 ripping off Police Story. Do you know who?
I think it was homaging, but
do you know who ripped off that exact shot for shot?
No.
Tango and Cash. Taking us back to Stallone.
Oh man!
When you're introduced to Stallone's character, he does
Tango
exactly that. It's a complete rip-off of Police Story, and they should be ashamed. And the directors, because two directors had to work together to rip off a shot-for-shot bit. I'm going to name them now because they should feel shame. So we've got Albert Magnoli.
Okay.
He should feel bad, and I'm going to butcher this name, Andrei Konklasovsky. I think he should feel bad as well, because you just ripped off a complete scene from Asian cinema and kind of went, oh, no one's watched that before.
Go on, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, fuck them.
Right, okay. Well, on that note, let's move on to mine, next one.
If that's what you want to do.
Which has got fewer fuck'ems in it. See, I'm just... I don't know why you have to be so negative, Dan. I'm just here about the positivity. And the positivity for this one is going to be... it's a Keanu Reeves film. And we love the Keanu. Friend of the podcast.
Yeah. I can't wait until he gives us that money that he said he was going to give us.
I've told you, I will buy him a drink. I won't give him £50,000. You want £50,000 because I'm going to sue you for whatever we did in that previous podcast. I can't remember what it was.
I just think that if you befriend him, that's it.
Well,
we are going to be rich.
I presume he is friend of the podcast. He doesn't know this yet, but he is.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. We love Keanu Reeves. Anyway, so this is the, I want to say it was about 1994, 1995. Speed. I feel the need for speed. So in the film, I'm sure that most people know the premise of the film, which is that a terrorist bomber has put a bomb on the bus. The bus goes over 50 miles an hour. It gets activated. If it then drops below 50 miles an hour, it blows up.
Kaboom.
So they have to keep going at 50 or above. It's fairly straightforward.
Yep.
And one of the tactics they employ to keep the bus going at that speed without hitting any traffic is that they divert them onto this part of the freeway that's under construction. Seems like there's no problem with that. Seems good plan. Good plan. Yeah. And then at some point, somebody points out that there's part of a overpass or a bridge. I'm not sure what it's really called, but a bit of the a high part of the freeway that is not yet been constructed. That there is, I can't remember how many feet. It's like 50 feet that hasn't been constructed. So there's a gap in the freeway.
So it's Jeff Daniels' plan.
Jeff Daniels?
Yeah.
No, Jeff Daniels is a good guy.
Was it his plan to keep the bus going on the freeway?
Oh no, I can't remember.
Because whoever it was, they fucked up.
Yeah, they definitely fucked up. No, well, Dennis Hopper's the bad guy.
What?
Did you not know this?
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
We've done spoilers.
We've done spoilers.
We're in spoiler town.
Spoiler
Forget
village.
it, Marge. It's
Living
spoiler
that
town.
spoiler life. So yeah, so they Jeff Daniels' plan has gone horrifically wrong, and there's a 50-foot gap in the freeway. So what do? Instead of slowing down or trying to find somewhere else to go?
They can't slow down.
Oh yeah, they can't slow down. Why is that?
Because it would go bang.
Oh, boom boom town.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kaboom.
Yeah, kaboom boom. So they decide that the only thing they can do is speed up. Just the name of the film.
That's what they were going to call the sequel.
Yeah. No, they call
They
that
just called it Speed 2.
Yeah.
Cruise Control.
Yeah, and it's shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's really bad. I listened to an interview recently with the Keanu as to why he didn't do that film. And I think he basically said he read the script. So they decide to speed up to try and jump this section of the freeway that was missing.
Do they do it?
Yes, they do. They speed up
That's excitement.
and then they jump over this gap in the freeway. And it was a real stunt. Because I know that you were a little disbelieving.
I'm dubious about that.
No. So I remember seeing a behind the scenes back in the 90s of this precise stunt. And they had to put the... I say this precise stunt. They didn't take a section out of the freeway. I think they mocked up a freeway that was... So it wasn't like 50, 100 feet in the air. It was like 10 feet in the air. But they did do the jump. And they had to install like a wire cradle inside the bus for the driver to drive on that would absorb the shock of landing. Otherwise, he would have broken his back. But yeah, it's a great stunt, and it's so full of tension. The film is so... It's a fun 90s film. We don't have too many fun.
I really like Speed. I think it's really good.
It's really good. It is.
And it kind of always was, but it kind of fell out of favour with people because it's the premise is relatively
it's very basic,
simple.
It's very simple, and it's very sort of just 90s action. But there's nothing wrong with that. I think
90s Reeves got a bit of a bashing. I don't think it was until like the John Wick era that he kind of came back as a reinvigorated hero, and then all the stuff about all the good deeds of the actual man. I tell you what, when we get that money,
what are you going to buy me, Dan?
I'm going to take you out, treat you real nice.
You take me out.
Yeah. Get a steak dinner.
Oh.
And then once I've spent that 150 quid, I'm going to keep the 49 grand.
Okay. I mean, I'm all right. I'm happy with that. Yeah. That's a fair deal. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic stunt. They managed to jump a very big bus over quite a large distance, whereas it's normally cars and motorbikes jumping over buses. This was a bus jumping over...
They flipped it on us.
They did.
Flipmo.
Flip mother lovers.
Flipmo's the greatest. Sorry,
Should
I was
we
quoting Busta Rhymes, sorry.
Should we do your number 3?
Ooh, mercy. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to kind of wrap a few into one, if you don't mind.
That's not in the podcast format, Dan. What are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm breaking the format.
You're breaking it.
We've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of
these
restrictions and these bracelets around my wrists.
Depending on what order we put this out, this is either episode number 1, 2, or 3.
And they love it.
Yeah.
They're drinking this in, lapping it up.
Who are they, Dan?
Huh?
We're back on your mum again, aren't we?
Hey, you get off my mum.
Hi, Lois. Go on, then. Hit me with your several things in one.
Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about the Steve McQueen classic Bullet.
Never seen it.
From the year 1968.
Never
Not seen it?
No.
Not seen it?
I want to.
Fantastic. I mean, obviously known for it is almost a car chase film in its entirety.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is just, it's really like, I don't think anybody who hasn't seen the film has heard of the film, but they've only heard of it because of this car chase.
Yeah, but I mean, what I like about it is several things. The amount of air that the cars get. So they're going down. I think they're in San Francisco.
They are in San Francisco,
and
they're
jumping a particular road,
a particularly hilly place, San Francisco.
But they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
And McQueen's actually doing it, and that's the big thing. Is that McQueen went, I've got to do this. I've got to learn how to drive. I've got to learn how to drive really well, and I've got to be doing it. And I'm sure he didn't do absolutely everything. I'm sure there was plenty of stunt coordinators that came in and took over at times. But the car chases, and it's not particularly the chase, it's how close they get to other vehicles. It's how close they get to each other. In the car chase, it's two cars. It's McQueen's car and the villain of the piece, and they are so close to each other throughout, and they're actually doing it. It's not your classic cars being towed by a camera car, or it's the cars freely next to each other, and anything could have gone wrong. There's a scene where McQueen's car takes a corner very, very sharply, and it just smashes into the car that's got a camera on it. The car is still this parked car with a camera attached to it, and McQueen's car just smashes into it. But they cut so quickly that you don't quite tell that any damage has been done. But they slam that straight into there. And then, so what I'm talking about really is just cars being used in kind of like tight situations.
What, my people?
Yeah, Gareth cars being used, oppressed. So there's a lot of close proximity to other vehicles and tight situations that the car's going through. And then that brings me on to other films like French Connection.
Oh, is that San Francisco as well?
That's Chicago.
Oh, is that Chicago? Because I was thinking that there are two car chases in San Francisco, which I believe probably homage Bullet.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
What are they? The two that I can think of is one at the very beginning of The Rock.
Oh, okay, yes.
There's I think Stanley Goodspeed.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Bad Nicolas Cage. He commandeers somebody's Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I think, as you do. I need this car. Yeah, and then it proceeds to have a little car chase. I think he wrecks the Lamborghini. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen The Rock, but The Rock is amazing. I need to watch that again. And the other one, I think, was Antman and the Wasp. Did they?
Oh, okay.
They have a little miniaturizing and
yes.
Which I found that quite fun.
Mm.
It was a fun little car chase, and it was around San Francisco. So anytime you have a car chase around San Francisco,
it was a little car chase.
It was a little car chase. Anytime you have a car chase around San Francisco, you can't help but homage Bullet.
Yes, and reference back to that original. But in French Connection, the main scene...
That's another film I need to see. I need to see that.
Excellent. And it's the cop is chasing the bad guys through underneath the L train, underneath the train system, which is all above the roads.
Do you know why it's called the L train?
No,
I think I know. I think I figured this out the other day, and I could be really wrong. And gentle listener, Lois, if you know, please correct me. I think it's because it's elevated.
Oh, so it's not
It's not L the
train.
letter. I think it's the elevated train track.
You clever
I
son
think
of a gun.
I'm going to Google it. Shall I Google it?
Maybe later.
Well, you can talk.
Oh, okay.
And I'll pretend to listen while Googling.
Well, that's the usual way it goes. So Gene Hackman's cop is tearing through Chicago and is hitting other vehicles, nearly hitting other vehicles, nearly hitting pedestrians. One of the reasons to mention that is that those cars that he's hitting, those people that he's nearly hitting, they are not part of the film. They are not extras, they are not stunt drivers, they are not aware that the film is being made. And the director, William Friedkin, wanted to...
What a dick.
What a dick. Absolutely.
William Dick Friedkin.
So Hackman knew what was going on. A lot of the production crew didn't know this was going to happen. They were told, be here on Tuesday at 8 a.m. We're making a movie. We're doing this scene. And they didn't know what they were in for.
Oh, wow.
And what happened is, so like the main car would hit other cars, and then they would pay those people off. Sorry for the damage. Here's some movie money. Have a bit of that. They didn't close the roads off.
Wow.
They any pedestrians that could have got hurt would have been hurt for realsies. And freaking you absolute maniac.
Wow.
But I loved it still.
Yeah.
It's still a damn good film.
The Chicago Train Authority, L-Train, a now official name, originally short for Elevated.
You did it. You worked it out.
I worked it out.
With your man brain.
With my man brain.
Good job, you. The other example that I would bring in would be Ronin from 98. De Niro.
So I remember virtually nothing about this film.
Mm.
What I do remember is I watched the car chase.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about this in a car chase one in the future.
We will do. It's just, you look at De Niro's face and the concentration because he's actually driving the car.
Well, I remember watching the car chase and thinking, wow, this is the most realistic, tense car chase that I've ever seen. Like, I remember watching it and go, this looks really fucking real.
Yeah, but I only mention it now because of how close they had to get to other vehicles because of that tunnel sequence. And just how good the camera department has to be as well. And those camera cars, they have to be as good, if not better, than what the stunt drivers are doing. And I just think they're incredible bits of filmmaking. And I think part of that is because they're not actually made and directed by the director and what you would call the A crew, the B crew of the stunt team, who get this right and do absolutely fantastic work. Those car stunts and those car chases, they're directed by stunt professionals, and God, I admire them.
Absolutely,
I want to be on them.
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Should we move on to my pick number 3?
I'd love that.
So my pick number 3, it harks back. I'm going to hark back to a couple of things here, actually.
Hark on.
So it harks back to the Casino Royale one
Ooh.
that I had earlier, because it's a similar system was employed. This is the flipping of a truck in The Dark Knight.
Ooh,
do you remember that?
It. Yeah. Yes. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's
So
iconic shot, that one.
Yeah. So the Batman is chasing the Joker in a truck. I believe at what point? I'm actually struggling to remember a few details of The Dark Knight and the order of things that happens. So he's on the.
I'll explain it to you. I've seen it maybe 1,000 times.
I've seen it a few times myself, but not for a while. It's one of those. I watched The Dark Knight Rises the other day, and I was watching that thinking, why the fuck am I watching?
Why did you watch that?
Because it was on.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad. I have a few fundamental problems with The Dark Knight Rises that made me dislike it for quite a few years, but I'm mellowing to it now. It's all right, even with Bane's fruity voice.
If you want to do bad, you have to speak into a pint glass. And do a kind of...
And Darth Vader as well.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take him away.
Yours is probably better than mine.
But we think the Bane might be from Sweden.
It does sound a little Swedish. He sounds Dutch. He sounds like
It's
Goldmember. It's Goldmember.
It's Goldywang.
Yes, my fascia. It's your fascia. Anyway, so the
Time to go mobile.
Once you have found a sponsor that align with your core values, then you have my permission to release your podcast.
Stop. Let's stop this.
So the Dark Knight, the Batmobile has been destroyed, and he's come out. Is it called the Bat Pod? The Bat Bike?
Yeah, pod. Yeah.
I think it's called the Bat Pod.
I mean, not officially named, but probably on a toy somewhere.
Right. So he comes out in the Bat Pod and he's chasing the Joker, who has commandeered a giant truck, giant lorry, and he uses the Bat Pod to attach a cable across the street in front of the truck, and then the Joker drives the truck into the cable, which essentially stops the front dead, but the back's got all this momentum, so it flips up and flips completely head over tails. Completely end over end.
Does an endo.
It does an endo. No, it doesn't though, does it?
For a little while.
Because
For like
an endo's where it lands, isn't it? Isn't that what you described it? I'm only going off what you described.
In Police Story, he kind of lands on the nose of the car and then immediately drives off.
Ah, okay.
It's interesting stunt.
The method they employed to flip this articulated lorry end over end was exactly the same method that they used to roll the car in Casino Royale. That's why it's a bit of a callback to Casino Royale.
Ah, well done.
They used a massive piston. Again, this is a conversation I've had with someone recently where they were like, that wasn't real, it was miniatures. No, this was a real truck. They used a massive piston, a compressed air, and you can very much see when it's flipped, you can see all the gas. They have digitally removed the piston, but you can see all the gas escaping from this system that just blows it up in the air. And it's a fantastic stunt. And, you know, as you said earlier, God bless the man or woman who is driving that. And Jesus Christ, you got to have some cojones. Cojones.
You gotta have what they call chutzpah.
What's that from?
Futurama.
Ah, yes. Yeah, so that's fantastic. But also calling back to what you did earlier, I think it was during that car chase that they destroyed an IMAX camera.
Oh.
One of, I think there was 4 in the world at the time.
At that time, yeah.
So then afterwards, there was 3. And that's yeah. Can you imagine destroying a quarter of the world's particular type of camera?
Yeah, this like bespoke made.
Yeah. IMAX camera.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Probably shouldn't have put it on the bike or whatever they did with it.
I don't know about Nolan. I think he obviously he loves filmmaking. I just don't think he cares about equipment or people. I'm going to take that back. Christopher Nolan, please don't sue us. I'm sure you care about all of your crew.
I love almost every one of Christopher Nolan's films. I think.
And Christopher Nolan, if you know Keanu Reeves, can you just put in a good word?
Christopher Nolan, I think he's up
money.
there in my favourite directors. Yeah, so I just think that's a fantastic movie stunt. It's something. It's pretty unique. It's I've never seen a truck flipped in that manner. Certainly not end over end.
No, and I think if you showed just that clip to someone, they'd know exactly where it was from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, an iconic frame. You know, every frame of painting, as Kubrick would say, and that's definitely
every frame
one
of painting that is painted with the blood, sweat, and tears
of other people.
Of what's the actress's name? Shelley Duvall. Painted with the blood, sweat, and tears of Shelley Duvall. That's what Stanley Kubrick wants or wanted.
Do it again.
Oh, please! You're almost crying enough. Not quite. Where's he from?
Don't know.
I thought he was British.
I think he was.
Do it again.
I said, madam, do it again.
Do it again. But I don't want to, Stanley. Do it again. Now.
Better.
Anyway, so I've got really nothing more to say about The Dark Knight. Fantastic film.
One of my favourites.
Yeah, I need to watch it again.
Good God.
Yeah, good golly, Miss Molly. Is it during that car chase that the Batpod emerges from the wreck? I think it is, isn't it?
Yes.
Hold on a second, Dan. I seem to remember you saying that you've watched it 1,000 times.
Maybe twice. Okay, so my number 4 is Mad Max 2. And it's
back when Mel Gibson was likable.
Oh, and allowed to be.
Yeah,
enjoyed by a
not
populace.
Known to be. No, I'm not going to say that.
No,
we've really got to try and curb the amount of things we say to get us.
Hey,
sued.
We're not doing the bad things. We're just talking about those terrible men.
I used to absolutely love Mel Gibson. I would say that
Lethal
during
Weapon.
the 90s, he was probably my favourite movie star.
And then what did that like come to an abrupt end for some reason?
I think he sort of stopped doing great action films after the 90s. I think I don't know, like it's sort of Lethal Weapon 4. I mean, he did go through his very serious period where he did like Braveheart,
Apocalypto as a director.
But he directed The Passion of the Christ. You remember The Passion of the Christ?
Passion of the Christ.
An extremely bloody retelling of the crucifixion. You know, that Bible story. I mean, it's not a nice story. I think he wanted to. Yeah, do you remember that? Have you seen it?
Yeah, with the crucifixion.
Do you remember the whip?
Yeah.
The whip that like dug into his skin and then ripped bits of skin off.
Yeah, nastiness.
Some people said it was a bit over the top. But yeah, he also did.
I think he's a good director, though.
I think he's a good director. He did Braveheart. He did, and
Yeah,
The Patriot.
Yeah, that's kind of directing, starring him, which is problematic.
And those ones. So I think this was where I started to lose a little bit of time. He sort of went down a little road of I hate English.
Yeah, that is true.
Didn't like that. It's like I prefer my Hollywood stars to be ambivalent to my
Anglo-neutral.
Yeah, to my heritage. And it's just like, no. Do you know what?
Back off, Gibson.
Back off, Gibbo. Feels like a Gibbo.
Fucking problem is an absolute Gibbo. It's an absolute Gibbo.
Absolute Gibbo. Yeah, back off. Are you even American? Yeah, rack off, you drongo.
Galah.
You dag.
That's told him.
Whose go is it? It's your go. Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
Mad Max
I was
2.
talking about Mad Max 2.
And we haven't even got to any part of Mad Max 2 yet.
There's just a fantastic moment when he's driving, Mad Max Gibson is driving this massive rig, this kind of big like oil tanker.
That's towards the end of the film, isn't it? That's the final act.
Yeah, and he's got the whole kind of apocalyptic gang after him.
So if I remember correctly, in their little encampment, their fortified encampment, they've got lots of gas, lots of gasoline, or
do they call it like Gasoline Town or something?
Yeah, so it's called Gas Town or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they've got an awful lot of gasoline, an awful lot of petrol, we call it, and as a distraction, they load it all up into this. Or they pretend to load it all up into this giant wagon, and he drives it off one way, but they all escape another way with the actual gasoline.
Yeah, and he distracts the baddies, and they follow him, and they it's that massive. It's got like a massive snowplow kind of thing on the front
Lots
of it. Spikes, and the vehicles are just destroyed. Motorbikes are pulled underneath of it, and you've got like the cameras slung underneath the tanker, and you see the bikes go under the wheels and just get absolutely obliterated, seemingly with people on top of them, but I imagine they were
I think they were
dummies and stuff like that. Cars exploding. It's just, and it's that what I love is that sequence. George Miller then takes that and turns that into Fury Road, and that like the whole film of Fury Road is
plot.
That sequence.
Fury Road's plot is they went there, they came back, and that is the plot.
But they came back richer for the experience and the journey.
What? I fucking loved it. It was so good.
It's so good. It's such a polished film.
And I think we'll do one about this another time, but it was so good in 3D. And I know that there's lots of people who like 3D, lots of people who don't like 3D. And I like 3D, but I will wholeheartedly admit that most of the time it's done pretty crappily. It's done pretty, like most of the time it's like post-converted 3D, or it's just not very well thought out. There are certain examples of when 3D is properly planned into the production, and they make it's so adds to the viewing experience, and this is one of them. It was made for 3D, and it was made in 3D, and it was fantastic in 3D.
I've got a bit of an idea as to why it would have been so good and why you enjoyed it so much, and it's to do with the composition of the frames. So in a lot of filmmaking, a frame will be divided up into threes, and you've got this grid that you would kind of film against as the filmmaker, and you might put a character into one of these intersections of this grid to draw the viewer's eye. Every frame in Mad Max Fury Road is composed and designed for you to look at the center of the screen all the time, and I think that affects the 3D viewing experience as well.
Wow. Okay.
I think.
I mean, I know.
Therefore, I'm Dan.
Oh, I like that. That's good. Cogito ergo chum.
Don't swear in here.
No. That's a little Latin joke. I don't know if it's cogito or cogito, but I don't care. Latin's a dead language, so fuck it.
Fuck it.
Let me say that again. I don't care. Latin's a dead language, so fuck it.
Fuck Latin in the
Fuck
arse.
Latin. But yeah, I totally agree. Mad Max 2 is a fantastic. I was thinking about putting Fury Road in there because that's just full of such good stuff.
Well, I mean, Mad Max 2, very incredibly practical in terms of the car stunts and the crashes. And then there's probably quite a bit of CG artistry touch-up in Fury Road, but a lot of it is practical.
I think there's touch-up, yeah.
A lot
I think
of it is practical.
It's and it's...
You see some of the car crashes where cars just they just come to an abrupt stop and they'll throw people off of them. And do you know why that is? Do you know why the cars stop so abruptly?
Because they didn't want to go on anymore.
Because it was over. Yeah.
It was done.
No, it's the sand on the ground.
Yeah.
When a car stops like that, it buries itself into the sand and it just flips over. And I think that was just planned into the. I hope that was planned into the production. I hope that wasn't something that they worked out and went, well, that looked all right.
As drivers were flying out of their vehicles.
Yeah, smashing through windscreens.
Oh, hey, man, this seems to be sound makes them stop.
And Miller's just going,
Dave, did you know? No. John, did you know? No. Oh.
Do it again.
Every day's a school day, isn't it? Oh, you learn something new.
Is that your southern voice?
Oh, my southern voice. You know my southern voice. All right, darling, how's it going? You all right? I sound like a proper native, I do. Don't sound very Dick Van Dyke at all. I just do bricktop. Feed him to the dogs, Errol.
I'd like to take this time to apologise to most of our listeners.
Yeah, because only people from the south can listen to podcasts. Is that what you're saying, Dan? Yeah?
They understand how to download things and how computers work. That kind of thing.
I'd like to take this opportunity to apologise to our northern listener, because I know that he can download things, and you're not being very nice, Dan. Sorry, John.
Sorry, John.
Yeah. Should we move on?
I think we should.
Okay, is it my pick number 4 now?
We're on to you.
My pick number 4. Okay. So, my pick number 4 is... which way around do I do this now? I was thinking about putting this one as last, because this one... I do think is like the best individual car stunt that has ever been done. But I'm going to stick it 4th because I've got much more to talk about my 5th one.
Oh.
So we're going back to Bond. Picture the scene. James Bond. Picture the scene. James Bond is in hot pursuit of Scaramanga. Just gonna I could talk over it, but I'm going to let you enjoy it. So Bond is in hot pursuit, as usual, and he steals a red AMC Hornet.
Ooh.
I didn't know. I had to look that up. I didn't know what kind of car it is, and I still don't. I've never heard of that. From a dealership showroom, complete with dealership customer, driving through the glass frontage to leave the forecourt. The dealership customer, by the way, was J.W. Pepper, Sheriff J.W. Pepper, who made an appearance in the Live and Let Die, and is also pretty much the same character he was playing in Superman 2. You know the guy?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
God damn, boy.
God damn it, boy. Are you that spy boy from England? Who was actually from Washington State and was not a southern guy at all. But anyway.
Was he pretending?
He was acting, Dan.
Wow.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, I feel a little bit betrayed.
Yeah, so J.W. Pepper, who previously appeared in Live and Let Die as Sheriff Pepper, a good old boy from the Deep South who was purely there for comic relief, but he was still absolutely brilliant. Basically playing the same character he played in Superman 2, and also I think he started, one of those films started a career of him playing Southern sheriffs, because he also played a Southern sheriff in The A-Team, and in the Dukes of Hazzard, Superman 2, I think Silver Streak maybe as well, but I don't know if that was before his first Bond appearance. I'm not sure.
So did he typecast himself?
I think he was just so good at it.
He pigeonholed himself.
Yeah. I think he did do other work, but he had a lot of Southern sheriffs.
Poor Pepper.
Anyway, so they're going down this road.
Just wanted to do Shakespeare.
They're going down this road, and what? Just wanted to do Shakespeare. I just want to do Shakespeare. Anyway.
I knew him, Horatio.
To be or not to be? Know what I'm saying?
God damn.
And flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. Anyway.
Pulled that out of your ass.
I can do most of the to be speech.
Please
Not
stop.
all of it.
Please stop. Our listenership are not into that.
But anyway, back to the stunt. So they're driving down the road, and I can't remember exactly what the details are, but they figure out they need to get onto the other side of this river. And Sheriff J.W. Pepper says that the nearest bridge was 2 miles back, and that there's no bridge across. So Bond whips the car around and starts to drive 2 miles back, and then out the corner of his eye, he spies this broken down bridge that's all twisted and gnarled. So what does Bond do? Does he drive back the 2 miles? Does he? Fuck.
Bond ain't got time for that.
I know he doesn't. No, yeah, it's true. He doesn't. And Sheriff Pepper wasn't into it.
No.
But James Bond, as we know, a little riot, as my wife would say. James Bond, as we know, up for anything. Yeah, so James Bond then backs up. The sheriff says, "You're not gonna." And Roger Moore, in his best American accent, says, "I surely am, boy." And then they plough forward towards this broken down, gnarled bridge, and they do what I think is the best car stunt in cinema history.
Committed to
Committed
celluloid.
to celluloid, absolutely. He takes off, spins through the air, 360 degrees, does a corkscrew, and lands on the other side of this bridge. I mean, it's obviously clearly
and
set up.
They don't cut.
They don't cut.
It's all done in that wide.
No, this is and
because it's real, baby.
it's absolutely real. I think that this is one of the first examples where they used computer modeling to get the parts of the bridge correct.
Shut your mouth.
No, and I presume to use to model what speed they'd need to be going at, because it would need to be very precise. You can imagine if they were just going too slow and they dropped down a bit, or if they were just going too fast and they overshot.
End up landing on the roof or something.
It would they'd plough into the bridge. They wouldn't hit the bridge at the apex where they need
the
to.
right angle.
Yeah. And it's fantastic. And then they absolutely fucking ruined it by putting the sound of a swanny whistle over it. I think it goes.
Yeah, slide whistle.
That's a swanny whistle.
Yeah, but it absolutely undermines.
Yeah, the seriousness, and I believe that the audio mixer, or whoever made that decision, has gone on record and said that was the worst mistake of his career. I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's held his hands up and said, "Yeah, that shouldn't be there." It totally undermines it, but it's still a fantastic stunt. What I would say is that just as the car is accelerating towards the bridge, if you're watching it on your TV, just have your finger over that mute button. It's only 2 seconds you need to mute, but yeah, it's an amazing car stunt.
The composer was called John Barry. I wanted to get his name.
No, but that's the music composer. That's John Barry.
Yeah.
That's not the person who did the Swanee whistle, I don't think.
That's what this says.
Does it really?
That's what this says.
Oh my God, was it John Barry? John Barry is the composer of...
Composer John Barry later regretted adding the mood-killing sound effect.
Oh.
Are we not going to... Do you not want to say fuck you, John Barry? Or something?
No, why?
Because he fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, with the Swanee whistle.
The Swanee whistle.
Yeah, fuck you, John Barry. No, John Barry's a legend.
Not to me.
Everyone's allowed to make a mistake.
Well, he made one. Let me put it that way. My number 5 is from the film Baby Driver.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Edgar Wright's Baby Driver.
Absolutely.
Which I really, really like.
It's a fantastic film.
I really, really
Shame
like.
about some of the actors now.
What, the disgraced actors involved?
Just the one.
Yeah.
But
we can't name him for legal reasons.
We need to talk about some stuff like that in another
That guy.
podcast. Well, about ruined...
People that do bad things.
Yeah,
Rolf Harris.
about cancelled. Yeah, cancelled people, I think we need to talk about in another podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, Baby Driver, fantastic film. I love Edgar Wright. I love almost all his work. World's End not included.
I wonder if we should go back and watch it. See
Rewatch.
if there's any kind of new appreciations that can be had.
No, well, I think
It's a flat no. No.
Read my lips. No.
Should we talk about car stunts?
Why would we want to talk about car stunts?
You're right. It's foolish of me. So in Baby Driver, there are some
banging on about Baby Driver again.
You know, lots and lots of car chases, lots and lots of fantastic maneuvers in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that I'll talk about is we see, beginning of the film, we've got the first escape from the bank job. So it's more of like one car maneuver inside of this film. And whether it was used in trailers or not, I'm not sure. But right at the beginning of the film, you got the first bank heist and escape. And during that getaway, while they're being chased by the police, the main driver, Baby, throws this car down an alleyway, and he does this amazing kind of skid, spin into reverse, turn again, and he avoids this trailer truck.
It's like a back end drift and then a front end drift, isn't it? So it's sort of like it swerves around one way and then swerves around the other way. I've never seen that as a maneuver.
It's fantastic.
And it is amazing.
Yeah.
It was really done, wasn't it?
And the maneuver's real. If you go back and watch it again, check out where there are puddles on the ground, because they're strategically there, because they reduce the friction and the traction, and allow the car to move in that way. So yes, it was done for real. The car moves in that way under the driver's control, but the trailer that it narrowly avoids and the moving vehicle coming into the alley that it narrowly avoids are not there.
They added in post.
They're added in post,
and
it's very well done. But yeah, the actual driving's real. And you know, we're going back talking about Steve McQueen wanting to be really able to drive the car in that way. They trained the actor from Baby Driver, Ansel. Yeah, he went through rigorous training to learn how to do handbrake turns and drifts, and I think that's great to put the actor through that. And if they want to do it, you know, I don't know why Tom Cruise gets a lot of stick for, you know, wanting to be able to do everything of his own stunts, but
I was going to raise the Tom.
Yeah, Rising.
Yeah, I think which one? Was it the last Mission Impossible? I think I was watching a critique of some of the driving in that and the stunts in that, and this guy was saying that Tom Cruise did an awful lot of that stunt driving himself.
Yeah, and
very well. Yeah, absolutely. I always go into Tom Cruise films going, oh, this is going to be crap, and then I come out going, that was amazing. Which is it's very peculiar. I've been totally brought around to Tom Cruise's side. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think he is.
I think he's as nice as Keanu Reeves, and if he or Reeves want to give us that 50k,
yeah, absolutely, I will happily accept 50k from Tom Cruise.
Thanks, guys.
But not from Keanu. Keanu,
No?
I will buy him a drink. I will not accept any money from Keanu. He's too nice.
Keanu, if you want to give me the money, and then we don't have to tell Gareth about it.
So just to go back to your slide, it was used in the trailer, that bit.
Yeah,
but only like in Blink and You'll Miss It, sort of, or part of it. I don't think you saw like the double slide. I think you saw like the first half in the trailer.
I'm also incredibly impressed by the editing for Baby Driver as well.
Oh, that's what I like about Edgar Wright's films. Like, I would say the editing is perfect for Baby Driver, and also for Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim is one of the tightest made films I think that I've ever seen. Going off on a tangent again here,
but it's also deliberate, isn't it? All of the every transition.
That's what I mean.
Cut.
That's what I mean. Is it's one of the tightest made. It's like every single shot element inside a shot. You know, like the fact that he goes into a toilet and has a pee bar. You know, every single shot is perfectly choreographed and timed. I think that Edgar Wright is an amazing craftsman, which is why it hurts so bad that The World's End was so shit.
Oh, back on this.
Yeah, no, never mind.
Oh well.
They need to redo a third Three Favors Cornetto trilogy film and do it better.
Well, that's me out. I'm out of.
Is that you out?
I'm out of
Just
stunts.
just while we were on Edgar Wright, in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse,
Yes.
they have they're in an alternate universe.
Oh yes.
They have alternate versions of like movie posters and stuff on the wall. Did you see the Shaun of the Dead one in there? Do you know what it was?
I can't remember what it's called.
It's called From Dusk Till Shaun.
That's right.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
Well
great.
done. Well done.
Well
those
done.
people.
Chris Miller and Phil Lord, or whichever underpaid intern came up with that gag, because it was fantastic.
Mm.
Right.
And to all of the Korean people that did the animation.
All those Korean people, or Bangladeshi, I'm not
God
sure.
bless them.
Or
Yeah.
Indian. Yeah, in the sweatshops.
There's no discrimination.
No. I'm looking forward to
There's also no pay.
the next one, actually. Right, my fifth and final...
Say it ain't
Oh,
so.
our final one. I've got to say it so, because we've both got to go to bed together.
I'm tired of this shit.
It's right, my fifth and final car stunt. It's not a car stunt.
What did
this
you
one.
say?
You heard. My fifth and final stunt, which is not a car stunt. We'll get to it. Terminator 2. There's loads to pick from in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Absolutely loads. You could choose the bit where Arnie on the bike jumps off into the is it an aqueduct?
Yes.
Jumps off into the aqueduct. That's fantastic. Did that with a guy on a bike, a stuntman on a bike, attached to wires off a crane coming down. That's fantastic. You could pick the bit where the truck goes over on its side and then slams into the building and liquid nitrogen goes everywhere. You could pick the bit where the helicopter crashes into the back of the truck. There's loads of car stunts in this. But the one I'm going to pick is just before that helicopter moment, is when the T-1000 is hunting through the wreckage of the first floor of Cyberdyne Systems, just after they've blown up the first floor of Cyberdyne Systems. And he goes, I think you see him go up in a stairwell on his motorbike, which I think that's a fantastic little stunt all in itself, just driving up a stairwell on a motorbike. He's in his motorcycle cop persona.
Yeah.
And he's so he's hunting through the wreckage.
You can see his helmet.
You can see his helmet. Okay. And he somehow ascertains that they've left the building, and he spies a police helicopter circling around the outside of the building, and he guns the motorbike towards the window, smashes out the window, grabs onto the strut of the flies out the window. The motorbike goes crashing to the ground. He grabs onto the strut of the helicopter, headbutts the windscreen, and melting into the copter cockpit. Try saying that when you're pissed. And the motorbike falls down onto a police car, and he turns to the pilot after he's melted through the windscreen and reformed inside. And he turns to the pilot and he says, "Get out." And this guy just goes, "Oh, yeah, okay." I don't think he even says anything. He just sort of nods. And he steps out the helicopter, probably to his death, but
Definitely to 2 broken shins.
Definitely to 2 broken legs, probably to a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic scene, and again, they did it for real. A bit like Baby Driver. The helicopter wasn't in the scene, but a stunt driver did smash out the windscreen, out the window, and the bike goes flying, and I think that they are caught by some wires.
So the stunt driver's on wires.
Stunt driver's on wires, but the motorbike
vehicle's
isn't. No, so the motorbike goes flying.
Yeah.
I
suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that the reason that the stunt driver's on wires is because they need the stunt driver to stop as if the helicopter was there. And then they filmed the helicopter there in a second pass, and then they composited those 2 elements together, which you can kind of understand because a helicopter with blades flying around and, that's a bit too dangerous. The insurance wouldn't cover that one. But yeah, it's a fantastic scene and fantastic film.
A film of a different caliber is Die Hard 4 or Live Free and Die Hard, where
I know what you're going to say. I know what you're saying.
they fire a
Did you just kill a helicopter with a car?
yeah
Justin Long.
yeah.
Justin
I
Long.
really like that.
It's a great stunt.
I like that bit.
Do you know what? The
Die
film,
Hard 4.
the film is not that bad.
It's grown on me incredibly.
It's not that
Mainly
bad.
because 5 is so
Five is awful. 4's not that bad. I think it suffers from, they did that annoying Hollywood thing of where they thought they had to keep bringing the rating down to get more audiences in, to get more figure. So it was like a 12 or something like that.
So
So
when he says yippee-ki-yay, when he swears, and we don't do that. I'm not going to swear now. I mean, my mother's listening.
yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah. But when he fucking swears,
Yeah, what's he fucking say?
Well, he says yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, and he fires his gun
At
on the
F word. Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
Now
Now,
it's hidden under the kaboom of these guns.
very annoyingly, I bought the DVD of the. I'm going to say they called it something like the uncut version, and it had more swearing in it, but all the swearing was dubbed over and done when the characters had their backs to camera. So it was really annoying.
That's lazy.
It was really lazy, and it was really I preferred not to have the swearing in because it was so badly done.
I'll tell you what, the first scenes of Die Hard 4 with the people coming after Long's character. Do you remember all that? It's like all the parkour and stuff.
No.
It's good. It's really good.
Good
opening.
I didn't think terribly badly of it at the time, but what I did think was it's not great Die Hard. It's not good Die Hard.
One of the things I think it gets remembered for poorly is he climbs on top of
it's a Harrier jump jet, I think.
Harrier jump jet, yeah. And that's it. We go beyond.
Yeah, we jump the shark.
Yeah, McClane becomes almost superhuman.
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
It's like oh dear.
That was the good thing about
And I bet that costs so much money to do that.
Yeah, and it was The good things about 1, 2, and 3 were they were all grounded in reality. There was stuff that was out there, but it was within the bounds of what's the expression? Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, McClane is stubborn and hard-headed and foolhardy and can't be stopped because he's a bit of a prick.
He's a bit of a prick, and he's also.
But in 4, he goes. Yeah, that moment he goes beyond that.
Well, in one, he's got this real motivation of saving his wife.
Yeah.
And I suppose he's got the motivation in 4, hasn't he? He's got the daughter. Of course, 4 had Kevin Smith in it as well, didn't it?
I'm afraid it did.
I
like Smith, but not as an actor.
No, I love a bit of Kevin. Have you seen Clerks 3, by the way?
No.
It's all right.
Oh.
It is.
Put it on the list.
A lot better than Reboot.
I haven't seen that either. I avoided that like the plague.
I want to like Reboot, but it's trying to be Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, and it is not.
And that I like.
Jane Silent Bob Strike Back is amazing. Clerks 3 is probably his most like Clerks 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
It is with it's most like Clerks 1 and Mallrats, kind of that era of his filmmaking. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it's very like Clerks 1. But anyway, that's another matter.
I'm going to drag us back to Vehicle Stunts.
Please do.
For the last, maybe honourable mention of the cast.
Oh, I've got a couple of honourable mentions, but they're going to be small.
Podcast. So, motorcycle stunts from No Time to Die.
Mm-hmm.
It was used in the trailer to good effect. It's the bicycle stunt that takes the motorcycle rider up onto the to the bridge.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Now that, again, much like Baby Driver, that shot is enhanced, but the actual stunt they don't add any more height to that jump.
Mm-hmm.
That is done for reals, for Rizzle.
Okay, do you want my honourable mentions as well?
I need them.
Okay. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I love all that stuff around the well, there's a couple of bits.
Yeah.
The stuff around the tank, which is really good.
Yeah.
If you watch it and you're watching it to appreciate the stunts, it's done. You can sort of see that it's all like done very, very slowly, but it's a great sequence. But going back to motorcycle stunts, the bit where him and his dad are escaping on a motorbike with a sidecar. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And they are chased by 3 or 4 Nazis on motorbikes.
Nazi boys.
And like one of Indy grabs a flagpole.
Yeah.
As you do, because they just come right out of the ground. They're fine. And he uses it as a lance to
go through the front spokes.
Well, no, he takes one guy off the first with a lance.
Like a jousty man.
Joust, yeah. Yeah, it's a lance. It is. It's a lance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like at a joust. So he takes one guy off, and then that breaks the lance, the flagpole, and then another Nazi, and I was leading up to that. But you jumped ahead, as always. You got to get in first, haven't you?
I've been called premature.
So yeah, and then he, when that other Nazi's coming alongside him, he chucks that through the spokes, and yeah, then it flips over end to end. I like that. It's funny.
And if I remember correctly, I think doesn't he kind of Indy looks at his dad and he's got a big smile on his face of like, look what I just did, and his dad's just almost disapproving of.
I mean, this
his
is the
Nazi murdering ways.
Well, this is the bit where I think when Indy first comes to save him, and he shoots a Nazi, and he's like, "You've killed him, Junior. You've killed him." And my final honourable mention was Smokey and the Bandit. They did a 70-foot bridge jump. Do you know what I was trying to find earlier? I don't know whether it was Smokey and the Bandit or Cannonball Run. I watched a bit of that as well. Cannonball. Do you remember Cannonball Run?
Yeah.
And there's one bit where
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds again, Smokey and the Bandit, but and Cannonball Run and Roger Moore again. Oh, no, I can't do Roger Moore. Can if it's early in the morning. And Roger Moore is playing a Bond-like character, and I think him and a woman are in his Aston Martin, and she flips an oil slick out the back, and this police car spins like a top. It's ridiculous how quick this car spins and then goes off the road. It's like if it had been, it's an honourable mention. It was really good. You need to have a look at it.
Yeah,
it's
I need
good.
to go back and watch that.
But yeah, the last honourable mention is, like I said, is Smokey and the Bandit when they jump over a ravine, a 70-foot jump in the Pontiac Trans Am Firebird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was looking for, and I don't know if it's in Smokey and the Bandit or possibly 2 or 3. I'm sure I remember they drive underneath the truck. Do you remember that? And I think that's just a fantastic little stunt where they've obviously custom built this truck to have enough headspace and wheelbase space to fit an entire car just underneath it. But it's and you've got to be going so precise with the speeds. What are you looking at?
Where I had to find a 5th one.
Oh yeah?
I don't know what happened, but one of them's just fallen off of my list because I was going to do Fast and Furious 5. I don't want to now.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. So I think we're done.
It's over.
Well, you got anything more to say?
Keanu, if you're listening, I need that.
Okay, stop it with the Keanu. Right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you have been listening. If you haven't been listening, what the fuck? And you'll never hear that. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please do tell your friends and like, share, and subscribe.
I'm not.
Yeah, but it really
not
does
selling
help.
out. I'm not.
You're not selling
I'm not like
anything.
A corporate shill, man. I'm my own.
You do realise we don't work for a corporation. In fact, we don't
Damn
work
straight.
for anything. This is free.
Yeah, freedom, man. Cool.
Live free or die hard. Yes, so thanks for everybody for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. We will hopefully be back very soon with another episode. We hope you've enjoyed listening to us talk about shit for...
We've loved being in your ears, so deep inside.
So deep inside your ear canal. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we hope that you come back and join us next time for when we talk more shit about stuff that we know very little about. Hopefully it's relatively entertaining.
I mean, we are terribly ill-informed.
We are very ill-informed.
And now I suppose so are you.
Yes. We hope that we haven't made anybody less smart by listening to us, but there is a distinct possibility.
Yeah, we're infectious.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Keanu, seriously, I need that money. yourself, Harris.
How dare you.
How dare he? He tricked us. Tricked us all for
They
years.
all tricked us from back then. They all did. Anyway.